friends, welcome to CEC Gurukul Live Lectures. Dear friends, this is a session on career counseling called Pratibha Samvardhan, and today we are talking about startups. And for this discussion, we have with us in our studios Mr. Karan Yadav. Mr. Karan Yadav is a startup consultant, and we believe that through our previous session, you have gathered maximum of knowledge on what startups are and how the government is taking a leap ahead, how government is helping you if you have an idea. Now, if you have idea and you believe that your idea can be converted into a startup, so well, you can connect to us, you can watch us the number of times you wanted. We have lot more for you. Now, Mr. Yadav, we have other more schemes, I believe, and as you have yourself explained that one need to research, one needs to find out through the Startup India portal, the website, and all these schemes are mentioned over there. Are there any schemes also which you would like to quote over here?
Yes, so again, like you mentioned, the most important thing for anyone to do in terms of also research is visit the Startup India Initiative portal, because that consists of everything that you need to know, whether it's about schemes, whether it's about just knowledge papers, and it'll just connect you with everything, right? So I just wanted to elaborate a little bit on the funding schemes, because funding is one of the major challenges that a startup faces, right? So previously we discussed the seed fund scheme. So just to summarize it, it's for anyone who wants to get investment for the first time and wants to develop on its idea. So they can go research the Startup India seed fund scheme, right? The second one, the second scheme that the government has launched is the Fund of Funds for Startups. Now, this is a little different. This is for bigger startups or startups that have already picked up some funding but want to take the next step. Right here, what the government does is it does not directly invest into startups, but through something called the alternate investment funds. So these can be again venture capitalist funds, institutional private funds, basically. So institutional private funds and the government participate together, right, to fund these startups. So the government will commit one amount, let's say 100 rupees. These venture capitals will have to 2x that amount and then finally invest in startups, right? So far through this, through this scheme, about 1200 startups have benefited of over 21,000 crore rupees. So that again goes on to show how much support has been provided to the startups in terms of funding. The third scheme when it comes to funding is the credit guarantee scheme for startups. To keep it very simple, it's basically to provide guarantees against loans that startups pick. So you might be a startup, you might go to a bank to pick up loan, right? Traditionally, what used to happen, the bank would not give you the loan so easily. They would require a collateral, right? So in terms of collateral is a big risk if your collateral is your, let's say, house or your land, right, to start a risky business. So there the government came into the picture, and they came up with the CGSS scheme that provides a credit guarantee to secure your loans, and so that you don't have to put in your your own hard-earned only house or land to start your venture. Right. Moving on, again, we had discussed this previously, which is around incubation and mentorship. Again, the government has multiple programs and multiple schemes again on the Startup India portal where you can get incubation mentorship opportunities. Then we had briefly discussed the National Startup Advisory Council. Why this is very important is because what the government is doing, it's not making policies just on its own, what it thinks it's right. What it's doing is it's encouraging participation from the entire ecosystem, and by ecosystem I mean established founders are a part of this council, established venture capital funds are a part of this council. There are government officials from different departments, whether it's Department of Science or any other department, right? They all come together and they all come up with programs, the best of programs that can help startups in this country. Right, and yes, again, not just the central government, but many states are also helping startups. Right, a few examples are we have Gujarat. Gujarat has become very strong in terms of providing seed funding to startups. Providing strong incubation programs for startups. Then we have Karnataka, of course, because of again Bangalore, which is such a strong hub. It attracts a lot of foreign investment opportunities. Right. Then we have Kerala. Again, Kerala is also really focusing on sustainable startups. So by sustainable, I mean startups that are focusing on, preserving our nature, our environment, our climate, so on and so forth. And they're also, really pushing uh, young entrepreneurs. Right. So yes, we see that Gujarat has over 12,000 startups, Karnataka has over 16,000 startups, Kerala has around 7,000 startups, and they're all pushing along with other states to create local ecosystems within their districts, within all small cities. And the beauty of this entire government program is all of these states, districts, and the central government are linked through the Startup India portal. So whether you're sitting in Delhi, in Kerala, in Karnataka, in any of the northeastern states, you can visit that one portal, centralized portal, to get all your needs met. Right. So, although the journey for startups in this country has been great, there are some areas, focus areas that require a little further development, which the government and other private players are working on. One of these is access to early stage funding. Right. So again, if you don't have a established product or a service with you, it might be hard to pick up funding. Like you might have the best idea in hand, but if it's not a proven product or a service, if you haven't generated any revenue, it's not easy to pick up funding. So in this case, it's very important that more incubators are set up, not just in metro cities but in tier 2, tier 3 cities, where first generation entrepreneurs want to start building a business, have an idea, but don't have access to work on that idea. So we need access to early stage funding. Then again, there are a few regulation compliances that need to be worked on, that the government is pushing. Right, this includes faster patent filings, faster intellectual property filings, so on and so forth. Right. Third is, again, what we had discussed briefly, is bridging the talent and skill gap. What this means is it's not very easy for startups to hire the best talent. Again, the best talents usually join the corporates, which are high salary corporates. Right. So for startups, they don't always have access to these talented individuals. Right. So we need to develop an ecosystem where working at startups are encouraged and seen as something great, seen as something very innovative. Right. Fourth is, again, so apart from just in India, the startups have, especially technology startups in India, have the skills, have the brains to be able to make an impact globally. So more expansion programs need to take place. How that can work is, we can have more incubation center links with countries outside India, where our startups can be sent to different parts of the world, right, to pick up knowledge, to pick up talent, to pick up skills, and then develop something within India. Fifth aspect is encouraging deep tech and R&D investments. What usually happens in India is, there are certain proven startups, like, startups who are selling directly to customer. Let's say you built a product, let's say you have a new age shampoo, like a healthy alternative for a shampoo, and you sell it directly to a customer, right? So startups like these are able to pick up funding, or let's say you are creating healthy food snacks, right? So you will get funding for these sort of startups, but again, startups that are working on very deep technology. By deep technology, I mean artificial intelligence, robotics, so on and so forth, right? They don't get a lot of encouragement in terms of patience, right, and funding to be able to develop on that technology. So that needs to be encouraged. Although the government is really pushing on this, but again, we still need to do more work in terms of private players and corporates also helping these startups, right? Lastly, again, linking to the last point, is there needs to be more corporate and startup tie-ups. So lot more companies in our country should support startups, should start doing partnerships with startups, should, start supporting startups, so that, both can grow together. Right. And again, now we know that the future for startups in the country is bright. Right. We know that funding will increase in this country every year. We know deal counts will increase in this year. Right. So for anyone who's watching, who wants to maybe enter new wave of industries or want to start something, so there are some sectors that you can look out for. Your first one is AI, right, artificial intelligence. So there will be a lot of companies that will pick up funding in terms of building artificial intelligence tools, such as tools for organizations like sales, customer based AI technologies, right, health technology, artificial intelligence. So that includes, diagnostics, so on and so forth. Then you will have consumer services, right? So quick commerce, last mile delivery, subscription services, these will become big. Then clean technology, right? So with the growth of electric vehicles, the entire ecosystem will grow. So EV components will grow, right? Waste management companies will grow in the future. Then you will have educational technology. Again, you will have AI powered tutoring, gamified education. These will possibly grow. And then you have health technology, again, health and wellness, biotechnology. So these are some sectors that you can look at, do more research into, and maybe you can find your way or a product solution within these sectors.
Yes. Now, this is clear from here that if you have an idea and you really wanted to have a startup, from this we can conclude that you'll be master of your own work, you'll be contributing to the country's economy, yes. And of course you will be able to giving solution to different problems or the issues within the country. Yes. So altogether it is a win-win situation for each one of us, whether for the government who is pushing the people to make their dreams into reality, as well as to the one who has a dream and somebody or the government is helping them. Now, how important it is for one to have a passionate idea, or one needs to be very passionate about the idea. So I think it is the initial stage, yes. Because we are talking about startups, but startups is the final stage, I would say. But before that, how important it is for one to take care of the idea first.
No, absolutely. If you have to become a successful founder, from my personal experience, from what I have seen, it's not easy. It's a very, very difficult career path that you're possibly picking, and it's your passion and your drive that will put you there. You will have failures almost every day. You'll feel like leaving it and maybe joining a well-paid job or any consistent job that brings in salary, right? So there'll be so many moments where you will feel like, okay, this is not working out and maybe I should leave it. But again, if you have that fire inside you and you have that passion, that's the only thing that'll take you forward.
In the current scenario, if I would play a puzzle with you, and if I say, how will you put entrepreneur and a startup in a one sentence? How will you conclude it?
So an entrepreneur is the founder, right? The entrepreneur is the one who starts the startup. The startup is then it becomes bigger than the entrepreneur. The startup then becomes something that's generating wealth for the country, generating employment for the country, and taking the country forward.
I asked this so that the confusion between an entrepreneurship or entrepreneur or startup is, I feel so that it would have eliminated right now, as you have explained here. And now another question arises: who can be an entrepreneur and who can have a startup? Because each one of us has an idea. So what traits one require to have if really one wants to work on his or her idea?
In order to become an entrepreneur who's starting a venture, right? So there is no playbook, right? It does not have to be that you are in a specific age group, or you had certain qualifications to become a successful entrepreneur. We've seen many examples of people coming from diverse backgrounds, diverse educational backgrounds, who've become very successful in starting a startup, right? So it can be anyone. You don't need to have any specific educational qualification, right? Mm-hmm. Some people might say that if you have a background in finance, let's say, or if you're from IIT or you're from IIM, then you'll definitely be able to build a successful startup, but never works out that way. Again, if you have that resilience, that grit, you have that confidence in yourself, you have the confidence in the value addition that you're providing, then yes, anyone can start a startup from any place of the country.
Going back 2 decades, अगर मैं 2 decades पीछे जाऊँ, so we are, or you might have heard about, or you might have seen people working in media. 2 decades back, we didn't had any course in the media industry, but now gradually we have ample of courses. If you talk about this industry, do we have any degree or I would say any kind of programs which would help students to study first and then go into the field?
In school, in higher education, you do have a subject in entrepreneurship that teaches you the very basics of what you can expect and how you can take the business ahead. Apart from that, you have business studies, of course, which is a part of commerce that can help you get that basic understanding of how organizations work. Apart from that, you can pick specialized masters courses that might be available across universities in startup technology and in entrepreneurship. But if you have an idea and then you want to learn more and maybe educate yourself, then I would recommend that you join an incubator. What I personally did when I was interested in becoming an entrepreneur was the first thing that I did after graduating was I joined a startup. Because once you're working in a startup for a few years, you tend to become micro entrepreneurs yourself because you have to do so many different things. You learn so many new things from different people that that is possibly the best learning that you will get.
Undoubtedly, your academic background or whatever you're doing in life, it it adds feather to the cap. आपको ideas मिलते हैं बहुत सारे, and from there, if you're from an engineering student, of course you'll be getting an idea. Even if you are a farmer in the field, you have an idea. Now the question is how to put your idea into an action. That is the most important thing. Do you feel so one needs to test the ideas before taking it to the market or taking it to the higher level? So what is the trick to test your idea? Because every idea is a good idea, but how it is formulated, how it is taken into action, it is the most important thing. So do you feel, or do you feel so that you have a trick which you can explain over here?
So there is no specific trick, but what you have to do is you have to firstly just eliminate any fear of rejections from your mind. If you have a product or an idea, just go out on the street and start testing it, whether it's in person. Even if you have to sell it in person to someone, face rejection on your face, that's okay. Or since we are living in a digital age, then you have a lot of opportunities to sell your products on e-commerce websites, now on quick commerce websites, right? So even listing your products on some of the social media platforms, right? So these are small starts that you have to make. That's when you'll actually know if your product or service is working. And again, I would say that as a founder, right, if you have a product and service, you can't be hesitant. You have to let go of that inner fear of rejection or shyness or anything. You have to test the product, you go out in the market and just do it.
And how important it is to understand or research about how many people are working on the same idea, because sometimes we have an idea and thousands of other people are working on the same idea, but how you will be implementing it would be different. So one should keep a track on that also.
Absolutely, it's very, very important to have market knowledge. And not just market knowledge, within India. So if you have a product, you of course go online, start searching about what people are already doing, what existing industries exist, right, are there, and what new startups are doing within that industry, right? So of course you have to do very extensive research within your country, and now these resources are very easily available to all of us because of the smartphone revolution and all of that. But apart from just in India, you should also look at countries globally, right? And countries with similar economy to India, maybe more countries like the US or different sort of countries, and just try to figure out what startups there are doing. You'll get a lot more ideas.
Very true. Now, do we have some programs or the courses at the higher level, at the master's level? Do we have?
Within India?
Within India or abroad?
Yes, so there are specialized courses that you can do. So there are masters in, let's say, startup technology, innovation. Then you have, a lot of masters courses in entrepreneurship. But again, for all of these courses, it's important that you have some sort of a work experience, right? Then it'll be very relevant for you. Then it'll help you, further grow. So again, before even going for a master's, for anyone who's in their undergraduation right now, and wants to probably pursue something like this, I would still recommend that you try working at these companies for a couple of years, working at startups for a couple of years, then you will get a better knowledge.
If we are doing any kind of course, and if we want to be entrepreneur, if we want to have a startup, we can of course join some internship programs or work in a company which is related to our dream or our idea. That would also help us in...
Absolutely.
For the youngsters specifically, those who choose the internship program. So if you want to have your startup, choose your internship program wisely.
Absolutely,
It would be helping you in
Yes,
the future.
yes, definitely.
You have used the term incubators. Now, can you please give some examples of incubators, because most of the people might be wondering what incubators are, though you have clarified that they are, in a sense, they are helpers, those who can assist us, those who can take us to the another level. Now, if we want to have some examples, who are the incubators who are actually working in India?
Again, incubators can be within universities, right? So a lot of our bigger universities, all the top engineering and business management, universities like IIT Delhi, IIT Bombay, they all have incubation programs inside them, right? Apart from that, even we have Amity Innovation Incubator, which is in Amity universities, that is there. Then a lot of within government departments and institutions, you will find incubations, right? You will find incubators within, Department of Science and Technology and various other departments. So these incubators can be, non-profit, they can be within universities, they can be, for-profit, they can be led by government. So you will find many of these programs.
Someone somewhere is working for you, dreaming for you. You just need to put your step forward.
Yes, yes.
So, what suggestion would you like to give to all those, whether they are students or those who into the jobs and they feel so अब तो कुछ और करना है जिंदगी में, let's implement our ideas. So, any suggestion or the idea which you want to give from your side? Because
yes, 100%. The only suggestion that I will make is that it's starting a startup and going on the entrepreneurial journey. I don't know how if people would want to hear this, but it's definitely not fun as it sounds, right? It is. It takes a lot of determination and courage. But yes, again, like if you have a vision and something that drives you every day, then work won't feel like work. So you need to find something fun, find a product or service that you love, that you can dedicate your life to, and then just go on that journey and don't care about rejections, failures, nothing. If you found that calling, just go for it.
and the initial stages may or may not be tiring. One should be prepared for that also.
Yes. It won't be easy. No stage will be easy on the entrepreneurship journey at all. But again, if you love what you do in terms of the product that you found, service you found, it'll make it easier. But yes, you have to work hard, you have to work tirelessly, and you'll be able to achieve
and
it.
you need to retain the success too. Even if you are successful, you need to retain that
Absolutely.
success. And if you are coming for the another idea with another idea, then again you have to start again.
Correct.
And this process, this journey goes on
Non-stop.
because it's
Yeah.
non-stoppable.
Yes.
So, Mr. Karan, thank you so much for giving us this wonderful session. Really, we have enjoyed, in fact, a lot, because we have gathered in a very jovial and kind way the way you delivered over here. And we wish you all the best, and we believe that this session would change the lives and the careers of lots of those who would be watching us through the YouTube channel of ours. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was an honor.
So dear friends, thank you for watching us. And afterwards, if you have any questions, queries or feedback, then do write to us at cecgurukul.live@gmail.com. We are going to meet again another Thursday. Keep watching us, keep writing us. Thank you.